Hello, everyone, and happy Independence Day. I'm Chris Allen, here with a beginning, if you will, episode 1 of Coffee with Chris. Yes, I'm having coffee. In my car, I'm going to visit my good friend Danny. As many of you know, he's had knee surgery. Recovering from that, so I'm going to sneak in on him and pay him a visit before I go back to work. But I thought this would be a good day just to start these little conversations, a way to express what I think and what I feel, because many of you ask me, you know, what do you think about this, or how do you feel about that? And I'm thinking, well, you don't really want to know what I think. Why does it matter? But then, you know, it's just, I guess I hesitate to do this because I don't want to contribute to the noise. And what I refer to as the noise is what you see around you. And it can be TV, it can be of course, social media, depending on your sources. You know, and here's the thing. Everybody has the freedom to say what they want. That's what makes America what it is. This experiment. And keep in mind, even though we celebrate 243 years today of this country, it's still very young compared to other countries who've been around for much longer. So in a sense, what was done on July 4th, 1776 was an experiment. Break away from England, come here, establish different ways of living. It's an idea. And the idea continues to work, but I know a lot of times even I get to the point to where I'm like, is it working? And I start listening to the noise. And the noise sometimes overwhelms what we know this country was, the way it was founded, the way it was intended, the idea, the way it was meant to be. And so what I've learned, and I have to do this every day because I'm surrounded by the news. And I'm one of those that just doesn't watch the news and go, oh, so that's how it is. No, I don't. I'm very much a curiosity. a curist? Is that a word? I don't know. I'm very much into curiosity, and I'm very much into observation. Obviously, because I do the weather, I have to be obvious. I have to pay attention to detail. And what I see and what I hear is very much slanted. And I'm talking more on a national level, network level. And when I see the stories of how our country is maligned and spat upon and just really looked upon as being horrible and deplorable, if you will. You know, it disgusts me. I get irate about it. But then I get to thinking, wait a minute. If freedom is what we're all about, and that idea of freedom and being able to say what you want to say when you want to say it, you have to go, okay, say what you will, believe what you want to believe. You have the right to do that. But here's my take on it. The problem that I see is that there's no give or take. There's all take and no give is what I meant to say. On one side of the fence, it seems to be, no, you have to agree with us, or we're going to label you this, that, and the other. Now, I've got to say that happens on both sides. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, but I pay attention to these things because I pay attention to detail. I have to. And I've noticed that it happens on both sides. One is just a little bit louder than the other. But you know what? Going back to my original thought, both sides have a right to do that. The problem that we run into or have run into these days is that we're hearing more noise from people who say, no, you can't say that. You have to be quiet. You can't say that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Yet at the same time, trying to say, oh, it's a free country, you can do whatever you want. Well, wait a minute, you can't have it both ways. How does that work? And I think that's where we're seeing a lot of conflict right now, because while out of one side of someone's mouth they say, no, you can't say that, you can't do that, you can't think that, and out of the other corner of their mouth they're like, freedom for this, freedom of speech, freedom of whatever. And that's where the noise comes in. That's where the conflict comes in. Contradiction comes in. I just want to encourage those of you that believe in this country, believe in America. And yes, I am a traditionalist. I am more conservative. And you can, if you want to put labels on things, I guess that's fine. But I try to look at it like, what is reasonable? What makes common sense? What do most people really believe? And despite all the noise and the things you read on the internet and the things you see on TV, it seems like every story goes negative. Let's find the controversy in this story. Let's find the bad thing in this story and then blow it up and make it sound like the entire country believes this. Well, I can tell you from being on the inside, it's not like that. I mean, they are doing that's happening with the stories on the national level, the networks. But as far as what this country really thinks, the majority of people are like you and I, who think, okay, there's a lot of chatter, there's a lot of noise out there, there's a lot of people rambling on about this, that, and the other, but the majority of people still believe in this country, still believes that America, the way, the idea that it was founded, the way God-fearing people want it to be, and the way it was founded, and yes, on the Word of God, still believe it. Still want it that way. And, of course, we get labeled a lot of different names, a lot of different factions, and people just spout off what they want to. It's intimidation. It's to see if they can poke the bear, so to speak. But, here again, my original thought. They have a right to do that. They have a right to think what they want to think. All I'm saying is parse it out. Think about it for a minute before you fly off the handle. Let's be the people that don't do that. Let's be the people that don't necessarily stay quiet, but we just keep on doing what we've been doing, what we know is right, and what we know this country is. And we're not going to shut them up. They're not going to shut us up. But it was that way in the beginning. There were the naysayers, and there were the people who protested and, on both sides, trying to make it work. It's still an experiment, and a very young one. Even though we look day to day and go, oh gosh, I got to hear about this again. Really, on the scale of things, grand scale of things, it's a very short period of time. And we just have to learn patience and grace and mercy. And sometimes, even when we don't want to do it, we have to show forgiveness. So on this 4th of July, Independence Day, I'm thankful for this country. I'm thankful for the freedom to express myself as I am right now, and the freedom to enjoy life amidst the noise and the confusion and the chaos. It's always going to be here for as long as we're here. Let's just try to deal with it as best we can. God bless you. Thank you for listening. I don't know when I'll do another podcast. I guess when I feel the urge. But I hope that you guys have a very blessed Independent Day. And thank you for listening.